Are you ready? Let's make some jam. See what?
In this lecture we will download and launch Kali Linux as a virtual machine. I assume you already have a required version of VirtualBox installed. Otherwise, please go back to the lecture where I instruct you on downloading and installing VirtualBox. If your VirtualBox is already installed, now it's time to download Kali Linux in the required format and launch it. Please find the link in the resources of this lecture. I remind you that it is essential to download exactly indicated version of Kali, as other versions might cause malfunctions.
Impossible.
After the download is complete, you can simply double-click it. As a result, you will see VirtualBox window where you can make certain configurations. Now comes an important part. Throughout the period that I've been lecturing, many people had issues due to low storage space. Thus, you will need to make sure that the drive where Virtual Kali Linux will keep its files has at least 40 GB of space. My default C drive has less space, thus I will allocate space in drive D. If you want specific folder to be used as allocated space for Kali Linux, please be sure to create such folder in advance. I already created a folder named Kali, so I will use this folder for this purpose. After you're finished, just hit import.
Let's start over.
Okay, we successfully imported Kali Linux. Now we have to do some tweaks before it's fully operational. Right-click Kali and choose Settings. Go to System and adjust amount of RAM. I suggest 2 gigs, however 1.5 will also suffice. Then go to Processor tab and indicate number of cores for Kali. Make it at least 2. The more, the better, but not above the red line. Now, please pay a very close attention. In display settings, you can either turn on or off 3D acceleration. Turning it on significantly improves visual side of Kali. However, in many cases, it interrupts loading of the system. You can try to turn it on, and if it works for you, then keep it on. If Kali doesn't load, return to this option and disable it. Next, we will configure NAT network. If you remember, we already did it in the preferences of VirtualBox. Now we need to place Kali Linux in this NAT network. One thing that will significantly ease our interaction with Virtual Kali Linux is adding a shared folder with our primary OS. This means that both Virtual Kali Linux and your primary OS will have a folder that they share. When you place a file in this share folder from Virtual OS, it will also be visible in primary OS, and vice versa. It's very comfortable. To do it, click on this tiny icon. Then this one. Now choose a folder on your primary OS that will be shared with Virtual Kali Linux and click on Select Folder. Don't forget to click on Auto Mount option and then click OK. That's it. Let's give our Virtual Kali Linux a test drive. As you see, everything works fine. Let's stop at this point and continue tweaking Kali in the next lecture.
Rewind.